He spent 23 years behind bars and spent even longer than that fighting a legal battle against the justice system. Tonight, this Brooklyn man is finally free. Everton Wagestaff's wrongful conviction has been overturned, but his case and other new developments show just how widespread this problem really is. In a broadcast exclusive tonight, Wagestaff sat down with PIX 11's James Ford for tonight's cover story.
Everton Wagestaff was a happy 24-year-old who'd had a few minor brushes with the law when his law enforcement encounters became extremely serious.
I'm here with you today. If I was sitting there just waiting for something to happen, guess what? Nothing would have happened.
The 47-year-old talks about how he ended up being convicted of the New Year's Day 1992 kidnapping and murder of 16-year-old Jennifer Negron in Brooklyn. Wagestaff and another man who he didn't know, Reginald Connor, were both convicted for the girl's brutal killing.
I didn't harm this girl.
PIX 11's Mary Murphy first introduced you to Wagestaff in prison 7 years ago. His case for exoneration is a remarkable story in itself. He was illiterate, and while in prison, taught himself how to read and write so well, he investigated his own case, proving that detectives had randomly targeted him and co-defendant Connor. Cops told a crack-abusing prostitute to testify against them in exchange for leniency in her own case, even though she'd never even seen the two men before. It sent the once easygoing young man to prison for nearly 23 years until a judge overturned his conviction last fall. But Brooklyn prosecutors insisted on having the case reheard.
And I thought when the judge initially made the decision by dismissing the indictment and vacating the case, it was going to be it. And then I realized that the DA was still want to fight on, and I said, my God, when will this over?
Wagestaff only got the case completely thrown out by a unanimous vote of a panel of appeals judges on Monday. The move finally cleared him and Connor, who had taken a plea deal a decade ago.
I know I have truth on my side. And I know if God is who God is, and if the truth is what the truth is, I know eventually I would have won. I would be vindicated.
We're already up to 50 exonerations this year alone, James.
Jeffrey Deskovic is one of the country's foremost advocates against wrongful convictions like Wagestaff's and his own. He'd served 16 years for the rape and murder of Angela Correa, which DNA later proved was committed by someone else, a serial rapist. Deskovic says that there are so many ways innocent people are convicted of crimes that it's the core of a new TV show he does once a week.
No one should be convicted based only on an informant without some other piece of information. We need to have better identification procedures. We need to videotape interrogations. We need to have a better system of public defense. We need to preserve evidence so that if DNA is even an option to be utilized, which is only 5 to 12%, that it hasn't literally been trashed.
And Wagestaff is living proof of the problem and what it takes to overcome it.
Sacrifice is necessary, and the truth needs that more than anything else. So had I sit back and didn't do anything and just throw in the towel and say I'm not doing anything, then I would have done a great disservice to the truth.
And he's now devoting his life to public service, doing a lot of work with Habitat for Humanity and with youth groups, and now dedicating himself to trying to get a fellow prisoner, Carlton Sterling, exonerated, who he says it is a similar case to his, where Carlton Sterling is innocent.
23 years behind bars. He sat down with you for the first time. How did he seem to you? Because he seems very, acclimated. I mean, that 23 years,
No, truly remarkable. He's inspirational, and he said because he was true to the truth, that's what kept him going and keeps him positive, and has him and Jeffrey Deskovic, the other gentleman you saw in that story, fighting in Albany to have new rules put in place, particularly to scrutinize prosecutors to make sure that they turn over all evidence before a criminal trial, and that's been a challenge and has caused a lot of these wrongful convictions, Tamsin.
Paying forward, helping other people one at a time.
That's what they're doing.
All right, James, thank you so much.